Good afternoon. Right, hang on. Oh, there we go. Headphones. Okie dokie. Right. Hey everyone, how's it going? Happy, what day is it? I keep thinking it's Tuesday. It's definitely Monday. Right, let's get rid of this. We don't want that. Poof, and you're gone. Excuse me. Hey, Andrea. Hello. Paul, how you doing? Adam. Graphic design, yeah, finally, I'm waiting for this live stream so much. Excellent. Fantastic. Doo-doo, doo-doo. Right. What are we doing? That's a really good question. Do I have coffee? Yes. Do I have music? No. Well, I hope everyone had a bloody marvelous weekend. Okay, it's definitely Monday, Dan. We'll stay on Monday. Just going to get some music on, and then we're going to dive into doing some thumbnail design for the YouTube. Does anyone have a YouTube channel just out of interest and who designs thumbnails? Hopefully this video will be helpful. Let's clean my glasses because they are very, very dirty. Okay. Right. God, thumbnails are so fun to design, but my goodness, they do take a while sometimes. Okay. Hey Nick, how's it going? Reese! I design thumbs for another channel, not my own. Okay, cool. How do you do it, Paul? Do you have like a kind of system? Font style? Is it quite quick for you to essentially just bash them out really quickly, dun, 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 or do you kind of put more time and creativity into each one? And actually, just while I'm asking you, how long would you say you spend on each thumbnail, just out of interest? Hey, Ankush. Welcome back. I think I fixed the buzzing issue. I think a few of you said there was like a buzzing on the mic on the last stream. I plugged the power socket from my laptop into another port. Issue fixed, just like that. So yeah, just let me know if there's any issues with the audio. Right. Before we do this, actually, I just want to show you something really useful. So I've got my thumbnail template here. This is kind of what I do for the live streams. I have one of these files every week. I've got the new photos in and I just kind of drop in my thumbnails for whatever we've been streaming. But that's 3.4 gig. Now you imagine doing that for every week, 52 weeks in a year. 52 times 3.44 is something. Ha! Math. That it's going to add up to a lot of space. So what I do is after a week has kind of passed and I've done whatever streams I've done, the goal is to trim that file size down. And when doing this kind of stuff in Photoshop, it's always smart objects. High res photography and smart objects. Like they're great because they give you more flexibility, but my goodness. All of these photos of my ridiculous face, they're all smart objects and they're just massive. But there's a feature in Photoshop they added a while back, and I think it's off by default. But if you go to the menu icon in the top right corner of the layers panel, go down to filter options and make sure it's showing. And you should get this extra bar along the top. Now it's a little bit more clutter, but if you use it often, you'll probably find it useful. And you can filter by different types here. You can filter by names as well if you've got lots of layers that are named the same. And then you've got some quick filter options here. So I think this one is smart objects. And you can see it turns this on. I can now see every single smart object in the document. So I can just select all the smart objects in one go, rasterize everything, turn off the filter to bring all my other layers back, save the file. And we've now gone from 3.44 gig to 172 megabytes. And I could even trim this file down even more. when it comes to thumbnails, just delete all of the ones that aren't being used. So I'm using what, 3 and 5? So we'll just delete everything else. Literally leave the thumbnails that are unique. 55, yeah. So I always have massive files. So I thought I'd just show you that in case you work with smart objects a lot. Hey, Andrea. Oh, thank you for joining. Yay! I can easily spend a few hours on a thumbnail. Sometimes they're quicker, but it does take time. Oh, Paul, I would love to see them. Have you got a link to the channel? I would love to see some of them. It'd be so interesting. That's good to hear that you spend time on them as well. Because it's just so hard. Like when you're making YouTube videos, you spend so long sometimes like the planning and the recording and the editing and then all the animated graphics, and then you get to the thumbnail. So many times in the past, it's just like I would just cobble together any old crap for a thumbnail and chuck it out there. But obviously the thumbnail is so important. And there's that thing that I'm wrestling with all the time, which is thumbnails that perform aren't necessarily thumbnails that look good. Necessarily, you know, sometimes thumbnails that look terrible design wise actually perform very well. I hate that. I hate it. I like designing thumbnails and putting time into them. So yeah, these are some thumbnails that I'm working on. I've got about 5 videos on the go at the moment. So we've got one on doing cinematic lighting, we've got one on using the pen tool, which this may look familiar. If you enjoyed that stream, then you'll enjoy this. We've got a random Adobe Illustrator tips video. It's like a collection of just advanced tricks, hacks, and shortcuts. And then we've got a video thumbnail for some of the new features coming to Photoshop. And there's one for Illustrator as well that we're going to do today. So this is one that I put together earlier on. And we're going to do the same for Illustrator. And yeah, this is a really good exercise actually, because we've got all the different features and you kind of have to Tetris them around, and it's a really good exercise in kind of having content, having to try and lay it out in a way that looks visually good. So I'm kind of hoping that as we go through this process, it will give you an insight into how I would approach something like this. So hopefully it's helpful anyway, fingers crossed. Right, let's just set the background color. Are you planning to use AI in your design as well? Absolutely not. A few versions for A/B testing. Yeah, I know, Paul. That's before you even get to any A/B testing. My goodness. Dansky means dancer. Does it? Is that real? Like, what language is that? Do. Also, how does one become a member like Andrea just did? Is there there's I think under the YouTube stream thing, there's a join button. I think. Are there drawbacks to rasterizing the layers as opposed to keeping them? Oh yeah, 100%. Like when they're smart objects, you can add smart filters. You can double click to go inside the smart object, and effectively you've got the original image at its full resolution. You can add layers within that. So smart objects act as like a document within a document. So I would 100% keep them, unless you're doing something similar to what I just did, where you don't need that flexibility anymore and the project's done. You're never ever going to touch it again. You're going to file it away somewhere in a dusty corner on your hard drive, rasterize it, shrink that thing down, and then only keep them as smart objects if you've either got the file space or storage, or you might need that flexibility in the future. I know, yeah, Paul. I mean, I've watched so many creators on YouTube say that they make the thumbnail first before they start the video. And I can totally respect that approach. For me personally, I found that it just made me put off doing the actual video. Um, yeah, I would spend I've done it before, man. I've just designed so many thumbnails for videos that don't even exist. Like they've got a great thumbnail, but the content never actually happened. And it's one of those. It's like a trap I guess I fell into of just I'm gonna design it, design it, design it. Spend ages, days making these brilliant thumbnails, and then it's like, oh yeah, I've got to do a video now, and then one thing led to another, and it just never happened. Whereas I think with a lot of things, maybe with different types of YouTubers, it's a bit more important. I don't know. I think for me, because of what a lot of what I do is like design, Photoshop, Illustrator, that kind of stuff. Most things that I teach, um, I'm pretty confident that I can make a decent looking thumbnail out of it. If I'm actually going to be demonstrating a design in the video, I'll try and make the design itself look good so that when it does go on the thumbnail, there's something visually pleasing to look at. But yeah, the video part is something that I definitely put off doing. I love doing thumbnails. And I think it's because I'm not actually like I don't enjoy video editing as much as design. So I kind of push that away. So for me, kind of getting that done first is like almost like getting the hard bit done and out of the way. Looking very young, Tan. Oh, Beef, I like you today. I like you today. Thank you. It's probably the haircut. Can you send the raw images of yours so I can practice and add it to my portfolio? Um, I mean, I guess I could. I got a lot of images here. I mean, well, hang on. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Which one would you like? Go on, pick a face. These are numbered 1 to 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 to 12, left to right, top to bottom. You tell me which image you'd like or try and describe my face, and then I'll open it up and zoom in on it, and you can like grab a screenshot or something. Oh, that's okay, Nick. Don't you worry. I still love you anyway. You're here on all the lives. I love you. Yeah, it's normally like I mean, I think it was a blue join button anyway. Rebecca! Oh my goodness! She lives! Hello, hello. Hope everyone's fantastic. I'm super busy living as. Oh, you've been a lurker. I didn't know. Have you been lurking, Rebecca? You cheeky little cupcake. How's everything going? How's the family? Hopefully, I'll be uploading a design later today. Is that going to be Instagram? I'm going to have to look out for that. Dansky, the thumbnails always get created after. Too hard to confine the content as it could change during production. The last few, let me slow down. The few I designed a few years ago were always after. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I've heard people say before and after. I mean, I guess it's like anything, isn't it? Everyone's unique and different. So if something works for you and your process, just go with that. Otherwise, it's trying to like put a square peg in a round hole. If that's the expression. Yeah, I would, Nick. If you've got the hard drive space, just keep them as smart objects. Another thing to be mindful of as well is your document size. So I think if I were to fill this entire thing with 12 thumbnails and they've all got high-res smart objects on, and it's imagine that I've got multiple versions of each one. So say this thumbnail up here for Mr. Wick, say that's got 5 different versions. That's 5 lots of smart objects, and then you've got 12 thumbnail video designs. It can slow everything down to like an absolute crawl. It can make it horrible to work with. So that would only be the other reason you might want to rasterize them, is to just keep things running nice and smooth. Carol Ann, same here. I enjoy the design, the video editing less so. Thanks for this video tutorial. Ah, yeah, I know. I mean, I to be honest, I only tripped, fell, and stumbled into YouTube just to try out something new. Like, I've never been like massively into video, but you sort of, as the channel kind of gained traction and people were like, oh, I like these tutorials, it just made sense to kind of learn some sort of video editing. It's very useful, actually, even if you're not into, you know, creating a channel on YouTube. Video editing for like promoting yourself on social is just such a useful skill to have. Yeah, these have only existed. These have only existed recently, so I've got to be honest. Very, very long overdue. Wait, that's terrible English. Very, very long overdue. That doesn't make sense. A long time overdue. Um, so we set the studio light up the other day, and me and Poppy, my partner, we obviously dressed me up in bright orange clothing because it kind of pops off the dark background. And we snapped about 489 pictures, I think. Narrowed that down to 35. We edited these on stream, actually. And there's a link to my second channel in the stream description. Because it made sense to do that up front, retouch a bunch of photos, and just dump them here as templates that I can reuse. My goodness, it's made the process for knocking out thumbnails for that second channel so much faster. I feel a bit silly that I haven't done it sooner. I've got to be honest, but you know, I got there in the end. I should have done this years ago. Oh dear me, yeah. It makes it so easy. Like, even for this stream, you know, for me to throw together this thumbnail for the stream, it took minutes. You know, and it's a fine thumbnail. You know, it's got my ginger face and says what it is, and it took minutes just having that ready to go. 4, 5, and 6 would be great. All right, go on then. I will oblige your request. 4. All right, let's open you up. There you go. There's one for your screenshot. Ka-chink. Don't worry, you can rewind the stream if you need to. There we go. Oh, hang on, let me move the mouse out of the way. Ah, smiley Dan. Yeah. Hey, Mike, how's it going, man? Can we get the documents on the link? Which document is that specifically? What, this file or? I think the theory behind creating thumbnail first is that if you can't create a killer thumb, maybe the video isn't worth doing. Yeah, I think that's right, Paul. I think a lot of creators as well, you know, I'm trying to go back to focusing just more on teaching. And I think I spent like way too long trying to overthink videos and just create these big bang videos that get lots and lots of views, and sort of fell into that trap of being a YouTuber, of just trying to make content and, oh yeah, views, loads of views. And it's just kind of, I think in the last few, probably months to a year or so, I've just kind of realized that actually it's exhausting just trying to create content to get views. And actually, I don't really care about views. I just want to put out good content that's actually going to help aspiring designers or people that want to learn design, you know? And also the other aspect is promoting the courses. So I've got full courses now for Illustrator and Photoshop, and it's like, so what's more important, getting loads and loads of views and getting, you know, all the views in the world, or actually making content that's really going to serve the people that I'm there to teach? So yeah, it's been an interesting, eye-opening journey. Oh, sorry, I'm waffling. These are just a lot of thoughts that have been milling around in my head of late. Oh, excellent. Yeah, hopefully it's helpful. Yeah, so the second channel it's linked below is where all the design streams live. So I'm still streaming on this channel because it's kind of where my main audience is. And what happens is after this goes, after the stream ends, I'll re-upload the stream as a video to the Dansky Live channel. So yeah, so for people who enjoy the live content and they just want that long format stuff, the lives they will all exist over there. And then I'll keep the main channel more for like the regular videos. Oh, excellent, Bilal. Yeah, I got to be honest, Carol. I struggle with this one. I really do struggle, but I had to. I've not used it yet. I've not used it because I know people are going to give me shit, and I'm probably going to give it to myself as well, just because yeah. I'm going to save this one for something that is genuinely shocking. I feel like for me, I don't mind using this if it is something that is like, oh my God, that is insane. I didn't know that. But I think if it was like up here, learn how to light a subject. It's just the emotion doesn't match the content. And I feel like that mismatch is what can sort of rub people up the wrong way a bit sometimes, myself included. I'm so tired of just every thumbnail from some people being just extreme shock. And don't ask what this one is. I think this one, if you ever see this one, you can expect probably a lot of silliness, a lot of immature behavior. Okay, so just that's the one to be careful of and watch out for. Hey, Kalule! Oh my goodness. How you doing? It has been a while. Right, anyway, let's get designing. So, similar to this one, I've got all the features listed somewhere. Oh, by the way, if you would like to learn Photoshop or Illustrator with me, as I mentioned, I've got courses for those two apps. I'll teach you from beginning to professional level. There's a link below to my Photoshop course, but Dansky.com, that's where they all live. So if you can tolerate my face and the sound of my voice, that's where I have courses. I've been in the game for 20 years. I've packaged a lot of that up into courses that will just teach you Photoshop or Illustrator the right way from the ground up. So there they are. Oh my goodness. Oh! You absolute legend. Who was that? Someone's just signed up to the Illustrator Masterclass. Oh, Julian, you absolute beauty. Are you lurking in the chat there? Oh, you legend. Oh, that's made my day. I love it. That email, when you get the email that you have a new student, it's like the best thing. Oh. Oh, I'm so happy. I love it. That is the latest course, the Illustrator Masterclass. Right. Sorry, I got distracted then. Right, let's get going. So we've got new features, and if you want to have a go at this, please feel free to follow along. First of all, we need to... Actually, no, I'm going to do it here. So it's like next door to this one. Sorry if I just yelled into the microphone then. Football hooligan mode engaged. Oh, dear me. All right, let's move you up. We're gonna copy up. Copy up. Where are we going? No, it's thumbnail 7 we want, Dan. Keep going. There you go. So first of all, we're going to get this in the middle. So whether you, I mean, one thing I was going to do at first was have the Illustrator and the Photoshop app icon. Could be a good A/B test, but we're going to do the text for now. And the challenge that's, I think pretty useful, to practice for creatives is here's the words, and we've got to fit them around this text and see if we can do it. So I've got a bunch of different sizes and styles here, so I'm going to probably copy these as well. So I've got even more constraints now because I do want to, these thumbnails will live next to each other, so I do kind of want to be consistent. So let's pop them there. We're just going to move them over. Hoodie thumbnail is the Dansky prank videos. It's going to be something like that, Mike, for sure. Oh, I'm not entirely sure what yet. We will see. Oh, whoops, I think I grabbed the wrong thing. Okay, so we need this text as well. Oh, no, I grabbed... Oh, for goodness sake, Dan. Okay, I forgot they're two separate words, aren't they? So generate and image, JPEG, XL... Oh, wait, hang on, I've got... How many sizes have I got? I know I've got 4 sizes. Also, these are the new features. Sorry, spoiler. Coming to Photoshop. So there'll be a video going up soon. I've just got to do the voiceover bits and bobs, and then that'll be done. Right, let's copy you over. Right, so these are the sizes. I want to try and keep them the same. And now I've got the features. So I've got the list here. Where am I going to put this? In fact, actually, I've got an idea. We'll copy it and we'll stick it on in the document somewhere just so you can see what I'm doing. We'll make it yellow. And I think we'll pop it on the thumbnail next door so it doesn't get in the way of the design. But we can still see it. There we go, fantastic. We have a sign up. Kiddos are what keeps us busy, but all good. Sending via Discord. I'm not confident in my use of colors, and I ran into an issue with a brush I attempted making, so feedback needed and appreciated. Oh yes, if you're trying to create a brush in Illustrator and you're struggling to get it exactly how you want, please do send it over. Me and another student had something similar recently, and I was able to record a quick video kind of showing how to get like a workaround for the brush. What was it? I feel like it was an art brush. Oh yeah, yeah. Is that the icon short the iconic shortcuts course? Yeah. So for everyone who enrolls in any course, there's actually a free bonus course, and it's how to create like I think about 40 different icons in Illustrator. Yeah, honestly, I've spent years making icons the hard way, and then if I need like a heart, for example, I have to go on YouTube and go, how do I make a heart? And it's just a waste of time. Whereas once you kind of understand not too many things, actually, you can then just create them so much easier. Oh, I'm glad that that's been really helpful. Okay, so the first one we've got generative expand. That's now in Illustrator for vector artwork. Okay, so we've got performance improvements. Now before, when I pasted these all in for this first design, I just kind of stuck them all in at the same size and then had to kind of figure out the different sizing levels. Whereas here I've got these predetermined sizes, so it might make it easier. It might make it more complicated. And I'm going to try and put the more important stuff, the stuff I think people would really care about and want to click on in the larger sizes. So live preview, right, live preview. We can change the wording as well. So I was going to go live preview pencil tool or live pencil tool. So we'll do that for now. What else have we got? We've got generative expand. I'm going to make this a bit smaller because I know not everyone's crazy about the AI stuff. So this one's actually sort of useful. The one where you can generate vector graphics in Illustrator, like I think it's maybe good if you're a casual user or you just need something quick or you're in a pinch and you just need to get something done. I guess it can be useful, but not something that I would use too much. Okay, quick. Duplicate artboards. What else have we got down? Copy and paste to specific artboards. So artboard, copy and paste. And then we've got, I mean, there's different types of performance improvements, but I think that will probably capture most of it. And then maybe one more at this kind of medium size here. Reposition all artboards. This is quite a nice one. A lot of these are very subtle, small features, but they're welcome changes. Do you know what I mean? There's part of me that's like, you know, should this just not have been there for a long time? Like, should it already be there? But then I don't want to be too ungrateful. I feel sorry for the team pushing out updates and then just people just being like, what the hell is this? So, I'm just going to check myself a little bit. Afternoon, me lovers. Arcade. You right, Ryan? You have a good weekend, me darling. Hey, Dash. I'm clicking your enroll now button, but nothing is happening. Oh no. Hang on, I should probably check that actually. Is that on, did you click the link in the description or is that on Dansky.com? Enroll. I mean, if you let me know which one you're trying to enroll in, I can just send you a direct link. Oh, it might be, yeah. Yeah, some of the, if it's the enroll link at the top of the page, it's just meant to take you down the page. So if you go to the bottom, they should work. I've just tested a couple, they should work. But if you just let me know what you'd like to enroll in, and I can post a direct link to enroll in that in the chat. Oh, look. Hello, Poppy. Her Majesty has graced us with her presence. Currently waiting for my client to turn up any minute. Oh, well, thanks for stopping by, Poppy. It's always a pleasure. Always an absolute pleasure. Okay. Hello, lovely. Oh, you talk. Oh, you're talking to Rebecca, of course. Of course, you're not talking to me, are you? Silly me. Shut up, Dan. Okay. Right. So we've got all the features in now. Now I've got to Tetris them about. Now, like I said before, when I first did this, I had all of them at the exact same text size. So then I had to kind of make some bigger, some smaller. Like this one here, this is right. This has come together annoyingly easily. I was hoping it'd be a bit more challenging. So to fill this bit of space down here, I might actually add another line and just tweak the wording slightly, which is something I do quite a lot to accommodate this space a bit more. Also, I always look out for these. You see this? If I could just nudge that to the left a little bit and just get that line flowing. It's just, I love little things like that. It's a weird one as well. So when you're working with italicized text, it's tricky. Because if I center all this, oh, it's not as noticeable on this one, but sometimes with italicized text, it can all look not central. So the word live looks a little bit to the left. Kind of depends what words you've got as well. So instead of just having a center line for italicized text, sometimes it's better to have a center line like this. It doesn't look too different in this, but there's definitely other words. I'll try it with something else actually so I can show you what I mean. No, they're not too bad. Yeah, okay, you can see it there. Some words and letters are more extreme than others. You see that's central, but it looks like there's far more space on the left than there is on the right. So you kind of have to nudge it over a little bit to compensate so visually it looks balanced. But yeah, if I can get these little nuggets where things line up, it's always a bonus. Right. I think maybe, right, you're not going to fit around there, so we're going to have to jig these around. And I also want to make it look random and not too organized. So I don't want too many elements to line up, and I don't want too many sizes that are the same to be near each other. So I might try swapping these two around to separate the sizing. And what should we do? Let's push this out to the right. And then maybe this one. So we're just going to jig these around. But, you know, like here, I don't want these two to be central. So I want to try and create something a bit more random. So I'm deliberately going to offset them and try and fill as much of this empty space as I can. So that's kind of the goal with what I'm doing here, is trying to fill as much space as I can, but fit it all together in a way that works. This spot over here is a little bit tricky. What did I do on the other one? Ah, right. So I could get some pictures in there as well. So what are these new features? You should know that, Dan. So we've got generative expand. Where are you? Illustrator features, project files. Here we go. Let's open up Illustrator. I thought the microphone was my coffee then. I was just about to try and take a swig. Oh dear, the idiot. Oh really? Many countries don't understand tar. Oh, thank you, tar. Tar, mate. Oh, goodness. It's probably just like British. Oh, catch you later, Pops. What's the best export setting? For me personally, this is going to depend on person to person. YouTube recommends 1280 by 720 for thumbnails. which will keep the file size smaller. For me personally, I go 1920 by 1080. And then I will always save as JPEG. This new format here, this will be covered in the video, is really, really good for maintaining JPEG compression, but keeping the... Oh, I love this song. Sorry, what was I saying? It compresses the file really small, but the quality is much higher. I don't know if YouTube supports that. It's what, a .jxl file? If it does, worth checking out, but they might not be there yet. Otherwise, I would go JPEG and I would do the quality at like between 8 and 10. 8 is fine, but 10 usually is also fine, but you just get a little bit more quality. 12, sometimes the files are a bit too big. Definitely not PNG. Way too big files. Yeah, you could use a textured background as well. That's not something I've really explored here. I kind of opted for UI elements, but yes. In fact, Nick, similar to what you were doing with the video stuff, where you had the characters, imagine instead of all these different UI elements, imagine you had a character's face there, and then you had like a brush, a smoky brush or something, and then you could blend them into those spots. So yeah, you could do something like that. Right, remind myself what the new features are. Okay, so we've got brush improvements. So I could use the brush tool, rotate and scale tool improvements as well, a bit faster. Artboard icon. So I've got some icons that I could use. In fact, I just had a really cool idea. Sure. What am I doing? What are we searching for, Dan? Oh god, I've not listened to In Flames since I was like 18 or 19. Like I've listened to them, but I've not like yeah. I've not listened to them in a long time, but I first listened to them when I was like 18, 19. I think this is the one. Oh, it doesn't support them. No. I'm sure, I mean, I don't know where this file format came from, if it was like an Adobe thing or if it's like going to become a new standard. I'm sure it will, because the compression, Piximperfect did a really good video where he compared the end result, exporting a photo, and file size wise, he was able to get, I think it was a JPEG at quality level 3, which is awful and distorted and everything. He could get the same file size with a .jxl file, but it maintained all the quality. Still compressed, but it was like much, much better. The same with the AVIF or AVIF file type. My playlist is all over the place. I love a lot of video game music, like orchestra, but then heavy metal and dance and all sorts. That's what Google says anyway. Okay, so we've got brush tool. So brush tool improvements. So we'll grab you without the container. Let's plonk you in. Yeah, Poppy can't understand how I listen to, even when I'm doing design review, I listen to like really loud heavy metal as I'm talking. It's just automatic, really. Right, artboard. We need the artboard icon. Pencil tool. Oh, we could actually use a few of these. Rotate and scale tool. I probably don't need them. It's not that exciting. Yeah, we got three here, so we'll be able to fit these into different places quite nicely. Honestly, design and music is like my favorite thing in the world to do. I did it back when I was 17. I've done it for 20 years since. I still love it. This is what I'm listening to at the minute, just if anyone's interested. Right. Brush tool. Artboard tool. Pencil tool. Right, so I need to show that these tools have been buffed somehow. They've got a boost. So what's just popped in my head is I'm going to add like a lightning icon. Now we could do it in Photoshop, but Illustrator's just way better for this sort of stuff. So we just want like a little lightning bolt. So we'll just do this super quick. Join these two. No. What kind of lightning icon do I want? There's a couple of styles. Hold Alt or Option and click on the Pathfinder to unite them together, but still maintain flexibility. So now I can really see how the shape changes. This isn't permanent. This isn't destructive. This is just smart. So I think that would look good as one. So we've got one version there. And then we could do more traditional lighting. Join together. And we'll do the same again. Alt or Option and click on the Pathfinder icon, and then I can merge them together. So I can kind of effectively see how they're going to combine and design in real time. It's really useful. Sometimes you can just design things and they just don't look right, like this at the minute. Something just ain't looking right. And it's sometimes just getting pieces in the right place. Will that one look good? I feel like it will look good. Let's round it off slightly. I'm hoping it looks good. We'll try. We will pop it in and we'll have a look. So what we're doing, we're going to stick this in as a smart object just so I can change it if I need to. Make it smaller, and then I just need a box. We'll draw this in Photoshop so I can control all the settings myself. You said you played instruments. Where's the Dansky music room? Oh, I mean, I play a bit of acoustic guitar, but not very well. I use a mouse and a trackpad most of the time, but if I'm doing any serious design work or especially compositing in Photoshop, 100% pen display and stylus. So let me just switch. Yeah, or a graphics tablet, anything of that sort. So this is the one I'm using because you can just draw directly on the screen, so it makes life just so much easier. But yeah, anything with a stylus, because then you can control the pen pressure. And being able to control the pen pressure and draw smooth curves just becomes like a lot easier. Yes, yeah, exactly, Mike. That was Illustrator just then. It's one of those things that's not really they don't mention it a lot. Like it's not talked about unless you I think I've got my tooltips turned off, but I've got two shapes here. So normally if you hover over this, it will say something about holding Alter Option. So if I just click now, it's permanent. I can't change that. If you hold Alter Option and click, this becomes like a compound shape. And then I can go inside and oh, you can't really see it with with these colors. Hang on. Let me there we go. Yeah, so you get that live preview. And then if I want to, I've just got to open up my Pathfinder panel wherever it's hiding. And then I can release the compound shape or expand it. If you're happy and you want to confirm it, expand it. But you can release it and get your original shapes back. I didn't do that for years. I did not do that for years. That's the kind of stuff that is covered in my courses early on. Things that I didn't know for an embarrassingly long amount of time. I was like, no, Dan, I'm teaching this to people early on so you can like learn it from the ground up rather than getting like years into your career and then still finding out about basics that you didn't know. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I feel a bit silly sometimes because there's just like, oh, like I should have known that. But then it's also like, you know, you never stop growing and learning when you're designing. So you can't know everything. It's just part of the game. So please say about gradient mesh in a minute. Hey, Schofield. It's not really something that I recommend too much. It's a very tricky tool to use, and it's not very intuitive, and it's honestly, it's been outdated. It's been superseded by tools and apps that are just easier to do 3D in. Like you can use it, but it's kind of almost like it's just easier to use other programs and create 3D graphics you can spin around. Whereas, whilst you can use the mesh tool to get some really cool 3D effects in Illustrator, it's weird because you're working in like a 2D plane. Like, let me just show you. Like if I make a square here, it's an old tool as well. It's been around for a while. You can add points and then you can go and add colors to these points and you can essentially create a two-dimensional mesh. And you can do some interesting stuff with it. And I've seen people do some amazing stuff with it. If you want to create mesh artwork of people, like mesh tooled artwork, you can, and it's insane. Like if you go and type in the mesh tool on YouTube, there's a lot of tutorials on how to use the mesh tool, and it's always for fruit or like peppers or bananas and like bits of like an apple. And it's really cool if you want to try that, but when am I ever going to need to illustrate an apple like realistically in the real world as a designer? Maybe more as an artist you might use it, but yeah, so I think it's practical application is very specific for a lot of designers, and the learning curve to learn it and the flexibility it doesn't give you at the end is probably not worth the trade-off for me. That's why I don't really teach it too much anymore. Maybe I'll do a video on it and show more of what I'm talking about with the sort of you can use it to create some cool stuff. But like if you want to do 3D in Illustrator, there's just other tools and things that make it easier. Do you know what I mean? So it depends what you're going to be using it for, I guess is what I'm saying. Hey, Kyle. Exactly. Yeah, 100% Nick. I've been, like I said, I've been doing this design thing for 20 years and I still learn things that that make me go, oh my God, I wish I knew that. But then, I mean, I don't know who said it. Someone said it recently, or maybe it was me. I can't remember. But you only know what you know. And it's true. It's like, you can't know everything. And if anyone ever does like make you feel stupid because you should know something, just ignore them because they're probably a dick. So it's fine. Right, so we've got that there. Now I'm going to try and get this icon on. So I want to make it look like the brush tool is like supercharged. So we're going to 100% going to have to put a gradient on here. And I'm feeling like a turquoise to... Oh, actually, no, we could use orange, but then we could also contrast with the orange and use a different gradient. So we could do something like this. This could look pretty turbocharged. So we'll have the lighter part in the top right. And then I want to drag that drop shadow on as well, just so it's going to kind of sit against there and create that depth. What do you think to the icon? It needs to be, if there's another icon that represents like beefed up, turbocharged. Now I've obviously got to figure out where the hell to put it. Or do I stick it on here maybe? Imagine I'm doing a poster. I use text size based on multiples of 4 since I'm a UI designer. Is that right? Text size based on multiples of 4. I mean, it depends. There's systems that you can use. You could use the golden ratio as well, which is quite cool. This is golden ratio. I like it in some ways, but I don't live and die by it. And when it comes to poster design, I've never really used a system. I just kind of do a lot of it by eye. But systems can be very helpful because, especially if you're new to design, it can give you like something to anchor your choices to. And then if you want to make it a bit bigger or a bit smaller, you can do. So like one system that can be useful is the golden ratio, and you can use this to define the relationship between different type sizes. So you could use this for poster design, UI design. It's a technique that can work across lots of different types. So, if you're designing text styles for a website, H1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's say that's my body copy at 17 point. And then what I'm going to do is go up here. And then I'm going to go asterisk for multiply. And I'm going to multiply it by 1.618, which is the golden ratio. That defines my next size up. Multiply that again by the golden ratio. So suddenly, there you go. I've got my title H1, my H2, and then maybe I'll change that to some other font. Oh, Arial's not even recognizable anymore. And can we go the other way? I can't remember. Could we divide by 1.618? I think we can. Yeah, so that's one system that you can use to define your different type styles. And you could use that as kind of a basis. It's pretty useful actually. Like a lot of times when it comes to like golden ratio, people, including myself, often think logo design and circles, lots and lots of circles. But that's definitely an instance that I found practically very helpful when more for UI stuff. But yeah, you could use it on a poster. But I didn't, I mean, I could have used it for this actually, but I didn't. All I did with this was pick a size and then increase or decrease it by 25% up or down. Right, back to this icon. Does that need a... I wonder how it would look with a stroke. I don't know if that looks a bit... Not sure. Hmm. Oh, awesome. Does experience really matter, or should we practice more than the experienced ones? I think if you want to I would learn as fast as you can, and I would find a course that is affordable and that covers what you want to learn. You know, there's no point, whether it's my course or someone else's course, it doesn't matter. There's no point like retreading and learning things yourself that someone else can teach you in a fraction of the time. Like I spent 20 years getting to where I am now. It doesn't take 20 years, you know. It just doesn't. It just takes good instruction. So yeah, that would be always be my advice: is find someone who you want to learn from, who you like, trust, and who has a product or a course that is like affordable. You know, Photoshop 23. No, you're not outdated at all. You're fine. All the features that have been added recently, a lot of them are generative stuff. They're kind of useful. The generative fill to remove stuff is useful, but when it comes to adding things in, nah, don't really use it. Hasib, it's going to be a personal preference. I like Mac because they have fewer issues. Simple as that. And the UI of Mac OS is, in my opinion, has always been far superior to Windows. I've got Windows 11 on there. Windows 11, nice step forward. I really do like it, but I just there's a lot of things on Windows that irritate me that don't irritate me on Mac OS. And I think that's because I've worked in UI design. Like I've been doing UI design for so many years. And I've been like, even since Windows 7, I've been like screaming in my head at Microsoft, like, well, how have you not changed this and made the UI slick? I've been moaning about it to anyone who'd listen for years. And they finally got there with Windows 11, but yeah, don't get me started. You set me off. Hey, Benny B. I'm good. How are you? Looks cool. Give it character. So many ways to do things. Send someone chasing their tail. Yeah, I think that's the thing as well. It's um, like with all my courses and my students, I'm always in the Discord. I'm always there. Like I'm always on standby. And I think sometimes it's, especially when you're learning new software, it's just like, am I doing this right? Is this the right way, method? Could I do this better? So I like to be that person that can be there and say, yep, this is good, or nope, this is not as good. Try this. Da, 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 da. Yeah, so it's nice to kind of be there in the way that like I had to like learn a lot of it myself from watching years of tutorials. So it's nice to be able to help people in that sense. Right, we need to make you bigger. So we'll go for 200%, maybe? Bit big. No, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. We might not need to use all of them, but we might be able to use these to plug some gaps. Okay, square icon. This could be quite useful to fit in here as well. Live. Oh, I've used the wrong flipping icon, haven't I? If I have to use one, it's going to be this one. Yeah. This is the icon for the pencil tool. Do do do. That's a really good question. You can use. It depends what type of design you're doing. If someone, like, let's just say I'm freelancing and someone hires me, I'm always doing it from scratch because that's what people are going to pay for. You know, that's why my prices might be higher than someone else's. Whereas you could get something for less, but it might be more templated and just quick, get it done, get it out. Templates, yeah, I think I would probably use templates more as inspiration. But again, if you work for a small print studio, maybe, and you've got something that's, you know, maybe a local company, you're very tight on time, you need to get something out, they're just going to, all they want is just for it to look great. You probably could get away with using a template if you customized it. They wouldn't be none the wiser, you know. At the end of the day, they would get a good product, and you would save time. So I guess in that sense, it's smart. But for me personally, just speaking personally here, like I like and I take a lot of pride in what I produce, so I wouldn't want to use one personally. But yeah, they can be very, very helpful for sure. How do I link Photoshop with InDesign? That's not a silly question. I've not got InDesign. Have I got it installed? Don't know if I have actually. You should just be able to save your file as a PSD and then in InDesign go to File and I think it might be Place or Import. Import it as a linked image. So when you import it, there should be a link option. So kind of similar to Illustrator. You know, if I go File, Place, I can navigate to my PSD file and choose Link. I've not opened up InDesign in a while, but that will link the PSD file and pull through any changes into InDesign. Right. I've got the generative expand artwork here. In fact, I could probably show you this. There we go. So how does this look if I expand it like that? So I'm going to screenshot that now. I could maybe recreate some of these UI elements. Ooh, actually, I know what I could do. No, I know what I'm going to do. Similar to what I did on the other one. That's not really going to fit as well. But this button, this will be very useful. Yeah, so I did something similar here. So what we'll do is we'll try and cut this out equally on all sides. Yeah, that's good. Delete everything else around the outside. Call it button. Convert to a smart object. This is what I was saying earlier, Nick. Now I can go inside here and I can we'll stick 20 on each side. Add a new layer. And then fill it behind. Save and close, and those changes get pulled through. Now, if you want to have it so you can round off everything, this is the way to do it. So what have we got there? 20 pixels. This is really cool. So we're going to create a rectangle that is the same size. And this bit is very easy to do wrong. And I still do this now sometimes because I'm just a lemon and I forget. I forget that I know this thing. Okay, so what you could do is round off the corners. Oh god, Photoshop is starting to slow down. Right, so there we go. So what we could do is we could make a selection and then use that to mask the button. But then I can't change the corner radius. And I do this all the time. What you do is you put the shape underneath and then you hold Alt or Option between the layers and you add a clipping mask. So the button is now clipped to the rectangle and it won't extend outside of that rectangle. So if I change the corner radius on the rectangle itself, you can do whatever you want. And it gives you that flexibility. This is still a live shape, so I can change all the different properties. All right, I need to make it a little bit bigger. So again, what I can do is could just increase the size of the rectangle. What's that? 10 pixels. Yeah, that would be good. Of course, we've not got enough image to fill all of that. So we go back into the smart object. We're going to go +10 to the width and height. And we'll just make this dark gray fill the entire thing. Save and close. And it should pull those changes through. Okay, I'm going to have to add more. That's fine. Let's just go for +30. We'll give ourselves way more. It doesn't matter because it's not going to extend beyond that. See, these are the kind of things that irritate me, right? This is really stupid and very petty. G capitalized, E capitalized, corners very, very sharp. A capitalized, C not capitalized, corners slightly rounded. Like, there should be like a complete design system across all the Adobe stuff. Oh. Hey, Gaurav. Kyle, how do you come up with your design? Can you explain how you conceptualize? That's a really good question. I think when it comes to these thumbnails in particular, I've got my fonts that I'm using. So that kind of is half the battle, is having that as part of my style. When it comes to actually coming up with something like this, how do I explain that? This idea just popped in my head earlier. I don't know where from. Originally, it was going to be something like this, and maybe a picture of my face or maybe some icons around it. But because I teach a lot of software, using UI elements is something I want to do more of, and it can be quite helpful, you know, to either tease or show the thing in the video. So these are some of the new features in Photoshop. So I could just kind of bring those into the thumbnail. Right, I need to now copy Yeah, it's an interesting question. Yeah, there we go. And also, something else that's really good. At the moment, these are two separate objects that move around separately. If I select both the button graphic and the rectangle underneath, I can link these together. And now they'll just, when I click one of them, they'll just move around together as one. It's good to do if you're going to just, you don't want to have to select two things and move them. And I could maybe slot this one up here. Ooh, yeah, this could be quite useful, this shape. Yeah, move that over and up. There we go. Do people want your thoughts of blood? Adobe's poop, I moved to Affinity. I mean, I can understand the switch, but at the same time, it's like, it's poop until the employer you're looking to get a job with has their whole studio using Adobe. So there is that. Just something to consider. Right, I'm struggling with this lightning symbol. I think getting inspired as well is a good thing. Like it's obviously going to be different for every person on what inspires you and how you would go about being inspired. But if I were doing a poster, for example, I might look at all sorts of poster design, all types, regardless of industry. Because a fashion poster might not be relevant necessarily for, I don't know, a poster advertising a new restaurant. But you could take the layout from the fashion poster and use that to do something a bit different. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes when you do something different, it can be quite useful to kind of help stand out. Right, you're going to go there. You might disappear, and maybe you could slide over there. Ah, you don't fit, do you? You don't fit. Goodness sake. Unless I put it on two lines. God, Photoshop is struggling a bit. I think it's because I'm streaming as well. Like it's taking a lot of computer power it's recording the stream as it's happening. So probably struggling a bit more than it would if I was offline, but oh, this is a good example. This is what I was talking about earlier. Those two lines are apparently centrally aligned. Technically, it's correct, but obviously it doesn't look centrally aligned. To do that properly, we have to nudge that to the right. Right, maybe if we stick you there. Oh, I was going to try and sneak this thing in there. Oh no, what have I done? I've moved the backdrop. Shite. When did that happen? Let's see if I can align it. Here we go. All right. Ah, it's going to go back to one line anyway. What are your thoughts on Affinity? Oh, it's very good. Very good. If you're a freelancer and you don't have to work in Adobe and you're on a budget or you want to save money, it's a great shout. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you can use Affinity, and that ticks all the boxes for you and like where you work, how you work. Like, why would you not? You save money. I think there's a few features that Affinity doesn't have that the Adobe suite does have. But then I think for Affinity, there's some things that both of them have, but Affinity implements them better and a bit cleaner. So yeah, it's a bit of a trade-off. Like one thing I love about Affinity is the UI. It's very clean, very minimal, and it's just very tight and precise. Oh, there's a new feature that I can never remember how to activate it. I'm going to try not to go on a rant. I can never remember how to get access to the bloody thing. Oh, it's the contextual bar. It's because I don't use it. I hate this thing. I've never liked this. This thing gets in the way. There's this new feature, adjust colors. Now, you see the bar that it's added along the bottom there, yeah? That bar lets you pick colors and adjust them in a way that's supposed to be easy, but whatever. Does anything stand out to you about the design of the bar itself? I just want to see if it's just me or not. Hey, Carrie. You lurking, my man. Maybe the questions I need to ask are what you usually do in your free time. Do any of those activities influence your designs? In a lot of my free time, Carl, I actually do design. Yeah, because I enjoy it. I love it. For me, it's not work. Like if I've got an evening to myself and I've got some thumbnails to design or a piece of photo art or something that I want to work on, that gives me as much enjoyment pretty much as playing the PlayStation, for example, or a video game. Yeah, and drinking Costa, of course, Kerry. We can't forget that. Yes, it is very good being able to. Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. Oh, of course. If you're using, is it Publisher? You can just switch between all of them in that one app. That is pretty cool. Anyone spotted it on that bar down the bottom? Someone's got to see it. It can't just be me. Thank you, Mike. Yes. Oh, I'm not crazy. Yeah, the bloody circles aren't even central. Who the hell built this? I'm sorry. Calm. Like, I'm sorry, but like that just would not get past me at all. That would get sent straight back to be fixed before it shipped. I'm just oh, it's because I love what I do. But look, all these buttons, look at them. The text is not even central, and this is essentially design software. What are we doing here? So yeah, that's one way. The one thing that I like about Affinity is the attention to detail on the UI is tight. It doesn't irritate me. I get irritated with this stuff in life in anywhere. So it's not just in like Photoshop or Illustrator. If I see that sort of stuff on a website or anything, but I think it's even more annoying if it's something that I have to use on a day-to-day basis. Like I design a lot in this. I'm always using Photoshop and Illustrator, so I have to look at it a lot. I know. Yeah. Okay. Right. I feel better now. Yes, Rianne. That would have been signed off by someone. I'm just like, no. Oh, we used to have. I used to have the same problem when I worked for a big company years ago. I used to work for Clark Shoes years ago, and the designs. Let's just say they weren't always built this way that they looked, and there was very little consultation with the designers. So we're there spending ages kind of focusing on the details to get the quality and the precision up, and we're doing all this stuff. And it just gets completely disregarded and built in a way that, I'm sure they put a lot of work into it, but it just looked slapdash and sloppy because they don't have an understanding necessarily of the design elements that go into building that. A developer might not have that same eye for detail and appreciation of why this is the way it is and everything. And yeah, so what we built, what we designed and what was built, there was often a huge disconnect, at least in the earlier days. Yeah, not, yeah. Yeah. Right, this is definitely going here. A live pencil, you're going up. We're gonna slot you into the corner. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. Oh dear me. I've been stewing on that one ever since, well, using the new feature and then just suddenly noticing it. Once you see some things, you can't unsee them. Oh, it's a blessing and a curse, I swear. Right. I think this one. I think I might get rid of brush icon. Uh, ooh, there we go. I can't quite reach the keyboard because I've got a microphone here, but I'm now typing with the stylus, which is, that's different, but it works. All right. Oh my god, that is actually weirdly satisfying. Yeah, maybe, Mike. Might be. just just builds itself, does what it wants. I got an idea for this. I feel like it's just because it's floating. I might need to have like a container or something. Maybe we'll shrink this down. Make it a circle and then we'll pop it in there. That might solve the issue. Right. Okay, let's try that again. What other space have we got? What other features are there? Artboard duplicate. Okay, are there any other UI elements I can pull through? We could actually brush tool. We could use we could do like a calligraphic brush squiggle. That could be one option. Get a little squiggle in there, maybe. Let's see if we can do a nice looking squiggle. I don't think I'm going to get this in. Right, where's my brushes? Oh god, let's get rid of that contextual nonsense. Oh, I sound so grumpy today. A bloody. So we could draw like a random shape. You enjoying it, Kerry? How are you getting on with it? Kerry's just bought a new pen display. It sounds like he's loving it. XP pen, wasn't it? You got a massive one. I think yours is huge. Is it 22 inch? If I remember rightly. I think it's something like that. Mine's 16.4, and it's huge. So yours is like... Oh, I'll catch you later. Oh, you think supercharge the text? The only thing is I've got this kind of consistency going on between the two apps. So we could, yeah, I mean, maybe I could do a version B that supercharges the text instead of the new features. The lightning bolt looks lonely. It does look a bit sad, doesn't it? Unless, for the lightning bolt, we add... Oh, hang on, I'm going to save the gradient. I can't be asked to recreate it. Call it the power gradient. Yeah, there you go. We could change the whole shape. So we'll go gradient overlay. Got our new gradient. It's got to match the angle, something like that. And maybe hide the stroke. And we could change the icon color as well to like white or something. Might stand out a bit more. Ah, shut up, Rianne. You naughty monkey. I set that up, didn't I, really? I was waiting for Kerry to say something. Oh, 24. Bloody hell. Yeah. Oh, right. I might try a glass effect. I feel like that'd be kind of cool. Moving on. Oh dear. Oh, is it warm in here? Yeah, I want to try like a nice glass effect. No. Yeah, in a word, never. Always Photoshop. It's just easier. It's, you know, what I do, especially with brushwork, you can't do it in Illustrator in the same way. Okay, so to create this glass effect, we're going to do that. We're going to add a stroke. The stroke is going to have a gradient. I'm going to set the color to white. Then drop the opacity on both sides. Make it a bit smaller. Right, so we've got a gradient with opacity, but we can't see anything behind it. That's because you've got to go to blending options and remove the fill. I mean, we could keep it a little bit, makes it more glass-like, but I want to actually blur it and make it look more like glass. So first of all, I'm going to make sure it's definitely in the right position. So we'll align it to the top left corner. Then I'm going to go shift left, up, left, up, left, up. There we go. That's the right position. And a few different ways to do this. What am I going to do? Okay, let's change that to circle because I'm going to get muddled up otherwise. Duplicate you under there. Remove all the effects. We will convert you to a smart object. Add a Gaussian blur. Smart object's great because now I can adjust the blur. No, let's go back a few steps. We'll keep the stroke because that adds like an outer stroke. And then we'll convert that to a smart object. Let's add our blur again. Let's turn off the original just so we can see. Oh, maybe dial the blur down a bit. We want it to actually look blurred, but so you can see what's behind it. And then we'll crop that inside there and then turn this back on. Now, unfortunately, it's showing through as well. So to get around that, what we're going to do is... I think we're going to get a problem occur here. Yeah, make a selection of that. If I remove that. Yeah, so I'm going to have to, I think, expand the selection to accommodate the stroke because it doesn't accommodate that in the selection. There we go. Yeah, I think that does a good enough job. It's not the cleanest implementation, but it works. And then I can still go and change the blur if I want to crank it up. And then I can turn my power symbol back on. And we could go back and turbocharge it and get a nice bit of glass style in there as well. Totally, well, I mean, I say totally unnecessary. I like it. Hello. I thought it was a cat meowing then. Goodbye. Pepper. There's a little bit of something weird on that edge. How am I going to get around that? Let's have a look inside here. All right, you're there. Circle. Oh, yeah, right. I think this is what I was talking about. So what's happening is because I've added a mask here, you see the stroke will carry around the mask. I don't want that. So got to go back a bit. I'll show you how to get around that. There we go. Right, let's hide this and this. So before adding the mask and cutting out that circle, the stroke is what's causing the problem. Because the stroke's there, it's going to run around the mask. If we convert that to a smart object, we can still change the properties inside it. But now, if I add a mask and then make a selection of the circle, and then cut out the mask, watch. The stroke isn't in play anymore, so it literally just cuts it out as it is. Another problem. Because we've got a drop shadow embedded in it, it's causing a problem there. So it's not matching the background. So we might have to go inside and we need to get rid of the drop shadow in here. You see, that fixes the problem, but then paste the drop shadow back out here. Obviously, we don't want the stroke, so we'll get rid of that one. There we go. Fix the problem. So we've got the drop shadow, but it's not interfering with this. I know that's a lot, but this is just one way to get around it. And then we've got our blur we can drop back in there. And then I wonder if I can expand the selection. No, whoops. We need to expand by 2. I wonder if I can get rid. Yeah. Just blur that other little bit as well. That was just looking a bit weird. Nice. Okay. There we go. So we've got the glass effect nice and clean, and then I can go and change the blur. So if I want to crank it up to 4, I can go and do that. Ugh. I have a mind rule that any element must be in 3 or is mirrored somewhere else in the design, so the lonely lightning bolt is irritating my mind. I'm sorry, Caroline. We'll have to stick another one in there somewhere. I mean, we could do. I don't like this thing particularly, so I'm not averse to revisiting the brush tool just for you. In fact, we could do that and reuse what we've done here and just drop in the new icon, because I really do not want to create that whole thing again. So just for both of us, we'll do that, I think. Yeah, maybe this one will be a bit more out the way, teasing something. So we'll grab this one here. And then we'll drop it in. There we go. Just so it's kind of lurking in the corner. Oh, whoops. Right. So you are the brush icon. I've got to stick all this in the right place now. Oh man, this is lots of layers. Okay, is that better? I mean, we don't have to make them turbocharged. We could make them orange, which I feel like might be a bit better, to be honest. But this is the type of very granular detail that I do focus on a lot. I don't mind that. I feel like the blue stood out a bit more though. You know, there's just a bit more. I like the consistency, but I feel like that does a better job of conveying something, and it doesn't take away from that, and it kind of gets a bit lost before. Whereas I feel like that stands out, and it's not fighting with the text color. Nah, back to blue. Yeah, okay. Right, you are. Hey, Adams. I appreciate that. I'm watching your videos for like 3 days. I already learnt a bunch of new things, so thank you. And it's even more nice to be able to chat with you. Oh, awesome, Eric. Yeah, that. I mean, I love these lives. Yeah, they're great. They're so fun, and yeah, hopefully they. I mean, we have a good time, but hopefully they're also. Hopefully, there's an educational angle as well in between all the smut and cinnamon buns. We have a good crack. Right. What else? I feel like we've got a couple of little odd spaces here, these little odd pockets that I want to try and close up. I think here I might have a brush stroke down there for the brush tool. Nothing as crazy as this, but I'm going to do like a simple, like a tapered off brush maybe. And we'll make these blue. These icons keep getting in the way, so we'll make them blue so I know that that's where all the icon craziness, all those layers is. Oh, that's a bit rubbish. No, that's awful. I hate that. No, what we'll do is we're going to do something better. We're going to have an actual, like an interesting brush stroke. So something that's, yeah, that's a bit more interesting. Um, yeah, it could be kind of cool. Could kind of have like an angle going down there. Let's see what you look like. Better? Maybe. I don't know. Not sure if that's exactly where I want to land. We've got some very interesting brushes here. Some of these are a bit more interesting than others. Dividers. Hmm. Well, don't that certainly look amazing? Very floral. Could we slot you in, I wonder? Now that looks a bit better. It's like chandelier-y. Yeah, that could fit. It could fill that space quite nicely, actually. Like a spider, isn't it? When's this video coming? Hopefully in the next few days. I mean, I'd love to say maybe tomorrow. Maybe. I want to get it out as soon as possible. I've just got to do a voiceover and record the talking on camera bit. Hi, blah blah blah. I want to get these ones. I want to get these out as soon as possible, and then these ones will be coming after. That thumbnail needs work as well. Okay, what do we think so far? How are we looking? This I'm gonna have to push this over, this text. So it's just not too close to that, and then maybe I'll nudge that a bit more. Which is kind of good because it closes this gap a little bit. So we're just trying to fill those gaps up. Yeah. A little bit of a gap here that we could fill a little bit by just maybe nudging this to the left. No, the right. Again, like I said, don't want too many elements to line up. So we could actually move that over, which then kind of balances out some of this spacing a bit. Generative expand can come to the left. So you see, we're just jigging things around to close the gaps. What other features were there? Duplicate artboards. Yeah, the other idea is some bit of UI. So I could grab this, do a screenshot of that, and I could try and sneak a bit of that in there. So whimsical, I love it. Don't move anymore. Stop. End the stream right now. Just walk away, Dan. Step away from the stylus. Right. Now, with this, what I like to do is I like to all of these edges in the Adobe apps, as I was saying, where they're quite inconsistent sometimes, and then when you screenshot them, they don't look great. So I like to trim off the outside so I can add it myself and then add my own shadow. So what I'm going to do is we're going to select all of this. Copy and paste. How am I going to do this? All right. Yeah, we're going to take this all the way out to the edge. In the past, what I've done is I have recreated this UI, but it's just not time efficient. It's so... That's the sort of detail that I would love to go into, and I'll just recreate the whole thing. And it doesn't take too long, but it's time that I could spend doing... Do you know what I mean? It's not a good use of my time, really. No one's going to see the difference at this tiny thumbnail size. And this is kind of a bit more of a quick win. You know, I can trim off the scrappy edges, and then I can add my own outer edge and shadow that will make it look cleaner. Yeah. So we're just cleaning all that up. If the buttons aren't in the center, which they're not. I can just nudge them up myself. I mean, we're talking 1 pixel here, you know. It's not the end of the world, but 1 pixel too many. UI design, these details matter. In a button that's like, what, 40 pixels high? That 1 pixel. Oh my god, I just noticed they're different weights. And they've got different corner radiuses, or they look like they have. The buttons are 2 different weights. How the flippin' heck? Why are these buttons like almost the same, but not quite? Urgh! Like, come on. Ugh. Okay, spacing's consistent. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm actually gonna have a breakdown. No. No, no, no. I'm gonna fix this. I'm not tolerating this in my design. That's 3 pixels too low on all of them. Right. I'm gonna... Maybe this would be like a good UI design video. Christ. I'm gonna move this up as well. Just... It's funny. They're all very like... Oh my god, the arrows as well. Oh. They're all like really tiny changes, but actually if I were to... I should have saved this before at the beginning, actually. Because you could look at it and go, oh, Dan, you're just being a perfectionist. And it's like, no, I just have very high standards. But if I were to do all these little changes and then do like a before and after, it's a lot more noticeable once you're aware of it. I think a lot of people generally wouldn't notice it, particularly like non-creatives. But for someone who's worked in UI design a lot, it's just there, glaring at you. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, there needs to be like a design system. Save yourself. I'm gonna have to get on there like live support or something. How long have you been a designer? Too flipping long. Clearly, I've peaked. No, I've been designing since, well, technically since I was 17, but professionally, that's about, what's that? 17. No, I've been designing professionally for about just over 20 years. Yeah, I did a few jobs when I was like, what, 17, 18, 19, with work and college and all that stuff. And then properly got my first like full-time job at, how old was I? 20, 21? Thereabouts. And we're still freelancing throughout all of that, doing my own thing. Beat those high standards out of me. No. Yeah, it's been like, I can't take it anymore. Oh, dear me. God, it's funny, this. It's funny, really. For all the design stuff that I do, the UI design that I'd probably say that's probably where I've got some of the most experience. Or at least I've done it freelance for the most amount of time, and I did it professionally in my job as well. It's one of the skill sets that I probably use the least nowadays. Right, we're going to unlink you. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's turn these effects off. We need to now match this box to the same size. Yeah, I think when you go the sort of like I did, you go the teaching route, and a lot of the design stuff I do now is usually for the channel, or it's for the course pages, or building out a course, or it's the more educational route. So I don't really have a need to be able to design like an entire website or app or design system or whatever. It's just not really what I do anymore. So it's kind of a skill set that's sort of become like a little bit redundant. Right, we could get a bit of UI in there. Where the heck are we going to put you, though? Maybe down here? Can't really see anything there. I could get rid of the brush. I'll call you Fancy Brush. Yeah, I think I could move that over there. Oh, I got an idea. I got an idea. I could pop you there. That doesn't really show much unless I do that. And then this thing could go down here. And that could slide over. You see what I was saying? It's just a giant game of Tetris. I don't know. No, I don't think that implementation is... I feel like the brush gives a bit more value than the box. So unless I can find somewhere for that to go, I don't know if it has a place here. Unless I move that up there. It's a bit less obscure, but you get like a little bit of UI. Unless I go in... Oh, wait. No, whoops. Could move some of the UI down. That's a bit better. But we're going to have to duplicate that first because I've got no idea what I just did. Whoops. Right, let's make the selection first. And then we're just going to move down across some of these UI elements. Just to bring them into view, so it looks like something. Yeah. Sorry, Andrea. My bad. What about using just layout icons from the box, not the entire box? Yeah, we could do actually. I suppose we could do something like that and just have some icons. We've already got a few icons dotted around though. So yeah, I think I am quite keen to just use... I don't mind that thing coming from nowhere. That's not too much of an issue for me. I don't know. What do we think? That's kind of how they look together as a pair. And the title will be underneath, of course, saying Illustrator new features, Photoshop new features. Yeah, oh, maybe. It's just. I think you're right. I might take that off actually. And I might actually remove this one. Sorry, Caroline. Just because when I turn this on, you see the timestamp there anyway. So no one's going to see it. And this is with dark mode. So then I could work on the title as well. So it's kind of good because you can then see the title and the thumbnail at the same time. Hey, Andre. That's amazing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think they've turned out all right, actually. Sometimes these can be quite difficult. Like, but this sort of idea came to me quite quickly earlier on with the text. I've done something similar on my course trailers. If you watch the course trailers on Dansky.com, the masterclass ones, at the end, it's kind of like boom, 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 all the features. So I think that's where the idea came from. But then once I'd done this one, I was like, the Illustrator one's not going to be too difficult. We've got the design style. But we were talking earlier about A/B testing. So did I do a version 1? I don't think I did. No, this is kind of how it was a bit earlier in the process. You can see it's not really fully realized. So if we get rid of that now, because that is redundant, this will be version 1. Let's just do a version 2 that will take a fraction of the time. And this is the kind of thing that would be good to A/B test. So if I grab, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Photoshop, Photoshop. It's hiding somewhere. Yeah, this crazy AI generated trippy cat image. And then we'll try using this, just because it's a very striking, eye-catching image. So it does create a very pretty, very colourful, very loud thumbnail. You know? And that is what I've done before on a lot of my, when I do my like Photoshop and Illustrator, these are the big updates every year, you know, the October release with Max and all that. What I will normally do is use a very big, bright, colourful image and just have some new features text. And they perform really well usually. Let's see if it will select the subject. Hope it will, but I don't know. No, okay. Object selection. No people found. There's a cat. Come on. Oh, no, that's okay. That's not too bad. Oh, yeah. The new selection craziness is now in the main version of Photoshop. No longer restricted to just the beta, which is delicious. Okay. Right. And then for this one, we're going to get all the features off. We'll get rid of them. Photoshop, and then we'll have that in the blue. Makes sense. Text in white. And then we've got to do something nice with the text. Photoshop, we're going to make that smaller. New features, that's what everyone's here for. So we're going to make that nice and big. I wonder if, Oh, okay. I'm going to extend this to the left a lot. And then I'm going to try. Let's see if I can extend. Oh, I don't know if it's going to do that or not. I'm going to try and get it to generative fill all of that with more illustration. I've been designing since floppy disk Photoshop, so good on you. Oh, wow. Oh, what? This one? Yeah, this one will be massive because it's got smart objects in it. I can tell you, actually. It's a PSB, so it's 4.2 gig. Just because all of these smart objects, I'm keeping them as smart objects in case I need to change anything. At the very beginning of the stream, if you go back to the very beginning, I showed you how you can rasterize all your smart objects very, very quickly. So just like up here, I could rasterize all of these instantly if I had to drop the file size. But right now, with a working file, it's like I want all the flexibility. No, photo. Oh, it's better. I thought Photoshop was going to say no then, but that might be good enough. I got an idea. No, we'll keep that. That's fine. So combine them together. And then I'm going to make this a smart object. We're going to add a Gaussian blur. And then select this mask and apply it. No, what are you doing, Dan? To this bit here. This is the smart filter mask. So there we go. This is all in focus, and then all this stuff is out of focus. And then this edge looks a little bit hard, I think. So we could try and select the mask and just feather it. There we go. Just so we got a slightly more natural fall off. Bits like that, I can fix that later. Right now, I just need to see if this idea works before I kind of commit loads of time to it. Yeah, so you see there, it just kind of keeps the color across the whole thumbnail, but the blurriness enables me to get that to stand out. Oh, kitty cat. Beautiful. Or there's another blur type we could do where if we get rid of that, this might be smoother actually. We'll go iris blur. This is like circular, so we'll crank it up. This will keep the cat's eyes in focus and blur everything that is further afield. And then what it will do is, you can see here, it's blending everything together a lot more seamlessly. Then once you've got the blur position, then you can dial it down. This can be quite good for thumbnails. It's technically not correct if you use it for a photo in terms of depth of field, but as you can see here, it's very good for pulling focus on a subject. We could even go a bit more dramatic. You know, it might look weird there, but when you actually look at it on a tiny thumbnail, it can look pretty cool. A bit weird that the whiskers aren't in focus though. So we could use another blur type to try and get around that, which is field blur. That blue P on top of the pink hurts my eyes. Where's there a P? So we're going to set the blur to 0 here. Command or Control click. So we're gonna mark all these areas as being completely in focus. And then here we're going to go and add blur along all these points. Again, blurring it all together, and then we'll add another one out here that's going to be say 30. 30. So again, we're still we're blending this part together quite well. There, keep the ear in focus, keep this in focus. The whiskers a bit more in focus. So we can really control which bits stay in focus and which bits aren't. If we really wanted to, a bit excessive, we could layer on an iris blur on top, a subtle one. We'll capture the whiskers in there and we'll just drop it down nice and low. T-shirts will sell what? Make it pop. Hey, Doctor Who design. Yeah, this is the definition of make it pop, isn't it? Yeah. So you see here with the blurring, you see we've blurred this. Yeah, it might look weird or be not correct in terms of photography, but it does enable this lettering to stand out more. And we can actually go and add an exposure adjustment layer, darken this down, bump the gamma correction. And then what I'm going to do is brush in. Very cool little trick this is. Now, obviously that's way too dark, but once you get the position, you can just fine tune it, drop it back a bit, and then look at the before and after. And you could probably punch it up a little bit there around the word Photoshop. But you can do the same with the brush tool. I mean, I've done this before. We could go and grab a dark blue and just do this. Brush in the blue. And then change the blending mode. And then that, I mean, that's really getting that text popping out. We could actually drop that down a bit. And doing it this way, you can see here, especially around the word shop. It kind of loses a bit of clarity. The contrast isn't great there. So we can bring it up and just go, oh yeah, there we go. Around 60%, we've got enough contrast. And then do I even need that darkening layer? I'll probably keep it anyway, but we could dial it back more. So color overlays in terms of like a big fade of color can be very useful. And then we could even duplicate it and have a different blending mode, add a layer mask, and then brush in maybe a little bit up there. Just kind of, instead of the blackiness, you just got a bit more blue. You see the difference in terms of like the readout that you get there? Not enough contrast, especially on the blue. There, gives us enough contrast. Doesn't hurt the design. I think arguably you could say it makes it a bit better. And we could add another one. We've got a lot of color in this image, real vibrant. So we could just splash some pink up there. In fact, this would be much better with an adjustment layer. So add it in like this. And we're going to drop the flow down nice and low. We could just... Oh, actually, that pink with that blue might contrast nicely. So we're just real subtle. Just brushing in some pink. Can you see the difference? Those three layers. Okay, I'm not a massive fan of that. That one makes it a bit dark and murky. So what was that? That was the multiply. Do we need that? Yes, but I don't like it because it makes everything look dark and murky down here. So what I'd probably do is turn it on, but mask it out. This is also a clever little trick. Not that I'm trying to make myself sound clever or anything. We're just going to brush it around there. And then we'll drop the opacity a bit. And then maybe just make it spread a little bit more. And what it does is it just makes that little area a bit darker to help Photoshop stand out, but it doesn't interfere with everything else and make everything murky and dark. You know, obviously once you know it's there, you can sort of see it, but other people, they wouldn't see it at all. The P from Photoshop. Jeez. Oh, awesome, Caroline. What, this one? Liked the black background as it made the cat and copy pop. Yeah, we could do. We could go back to that. It definitely doesn't pop out a lot. A really good way of actually determining thumbnail contrast, actually. So when you are designing thumbnails, is to strip out the color. Just completely take out the color and look at the contrast. If everything feels grey, you know, there's probably not enough contrast. So I could look at that now and go, yeah, the new features, that's popping out, looks great. Some of the other bits, don't know, not sure about that. Could do with a bit more contrast. So what you were saying, Caroline, about, is it Carol or Caroline? Just so I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Yeah, just by turning off everything I did, it looks pretty, but actually that does increase the contrast. So Yeah, I can't remember where I learned that from. I think it was a YouTube video somewhere, but it's a nifty trick. Need you to answer this one. Do you design at this level of detail for every single thing you do? Yes, it's a curse. I do. Or are you pushing the meticulous nature this way more in the streams? No right or wrong answer. 100%. This is literally how I live and breathe everything. Unless it's like the thumbnails for the streams. So where did I have it? Oh, I think I showed it earlier. So when I'm doing thumbnails for the streams, obviously I want to spend the majority of the time doing the stream. And once this one goes up later, I've already got a thumbnail, but if I didn't have a thumbnail, I'd probably grab some text, grab a picture of my face, grab a shot of the design we did, throw it together. It would look pretty decent because, you know, it would just be my face and a few words, or my face and the picture of the design, and that would go on Dansky Live. So those sorts of thumbnails, no, I'm not spending a lot of time on there, but that's why I did all the photos and I have this kind of system now, because I want those thumbnails to look good enough, but I don't want them to like I'm already doing too much as it is. So I need to produce more, maintain a good enough quality, but save time. Does that make sense? Like if I show you, if I just go on my channel a second and I go on the live streams, before, like, there was just no system whatsoever. So if I open this up here, you can see my dashboard. So the last few streams, you can see that they've got their own thumbnail. Now these are all very, very, very quick to set up with this new system. And it just means that when people are browsing the content after, they can identify a piece of content by the thumbnail. Before, it looked like this. Do you know what I mean? And this is just, it's awful if you're someone trying to find a particular video. It's just all exactly the same. And I was just like, that's not good enough. Like something has to change. So that was where that whole idea for the thumbnails came in. But yeah, when it comes to my own thumbnails, you know, should I spend this long on thumbnails? I don't know. I don't care. I like doing it. I want my thumbnails to look nice. And I think as well, it's different because I'm a designer. I'd like to think that on some level my thumbnails represent my ability as a creative. I don't know. Maybe that's just me making nonsense up in my head. But I feel like if someone's looking at the channel and thinking, is this a designer whose course I might want to enroll in, or someone I want to learn from on the lives? Are they actually any good? And if you've got a suite of good thumbnails that look visually pleasing, I feel like that counts for something, right? You know, obviously they've got to perform well as well, but I can't be a design channel with crap thumbnails that are like rushed. That just doesn't jive with me very well. We could do a little bit of lowercase here. Ooh, bit different. This is more a compliment to the quality of your work. I'm just curious how much time you put into everything you do. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Caroline is good. Excellent. I'm super late, but hi, Moosh. Hey, Kyle. I've got another Kyle today. How you doing, Dan? I actually thought this was the design reviews, but I'm late. But hello. Ha. Hello. Welcome. You are doing my job. By the way, your new thumbnail is good, clean, simple. Bright green background with pink Comic Sans. Do you know, Paul, I probably should A/B test that, because there'd probably be... Oh, I mean, if I actually did that... Oh, I mean, right. So that would be a problem. If I did a thumbnail like that, as you just described, and it performed better in the A/B test, should I use that as the thumbnail? Even though it, like, to look at would erode my soul, but it performs better. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to take that risk. Cosmo and Wanda hiding in a design. No, he can't. Surely not. That can't be right. I gotta look that up now. No, I don't think it's Comic Sans. There's some text on the front page which kind of looks a little bit like, not sure what it is. Quicksand maybe, with the rounded corners. Yeah, no, it's definitely not Comic Sans. I'd struggle with that. I would struggle with that. No, no, no. Just love the way you make things simple. Awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of things. I think the design side of it and knowing how to make something look good. I think some of that comes from experience. I think the reason I like teaching what really gets me excited teaching is when there is something that is simple and it's just that people either have been taught the wrong way or they just don't know. And like with photo manipulation, the amount of amazing ideas I see, but the execution is lacking. And it's like, no, 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 no. You just got to fix your exposure, balancing your exposure and your colors. Those two fixes alone, super easy to do. You've seen me do them loads on the channel, and it will make the quality of what you produce exponentially better. Like it's not even close how much better it will make your work. And so that sort of stuff does genuinely get me excited, because it's usually stuff that I've done wrong for years as well. And it's nice to be able to save people from that kind of headache inducing stuff. Right, I feel like the type needs another lockup. So text, duplicate. I think we'll do another 20 minutes and then I'm going to go and interact with my children. There's Daddy. Why am I a German all of a sudden? Right. What are we doing? Photoshop, right. You're going to go up here. Oh my goodness, Photoshop is proper struggling now. Just in case you didn't realize, these are new features. I got an idea for this. I just hope it looks all right. Sometimes trying to line different elements up can be a bit tricky. All right. Yeah, maybe up here. Oh, I mean, that stands out. Okay, new features, a little bit closer. Oh, I think that is. Oh, do a before and after. Before. I don't know. I feel like I know which one I'm clicking on. should this be dated? Like if there are other features in the next update in June of the video. Yeah, in the video title, it will have June. So it's the June update. Or this Photoshop video has got a couple of bits from April bundled with June. But yeah, you want to keep the thumbnail for like the most important stuff. All right, let's get you 30. Just fix some of this weird blur stuff going on. This is why I keep the smart objects. Huge files, but you see I've got all this flexibility and I can save, close, and come back. So I keep that until I've uploaded the video and it's been up for ages and I could just forget about it. Yeah, we got there, Caroline. I mean, this is actually very reminiscent of one of the new features, this thing. So what you can do is add some text, turn on this option here, dynamic text. And as I scale the text box, it all occupies the width just to spoil the video for you. That is a legitimately awesome feature. So very, very, very happy with that one. Could even try and get that in the design, but it might be a bit much. Yeah, a bit much. Not sure about that. So we've got a couple of thumbnails and we could have a look at. Right. So, oh, catch you later, Mike. Hey, Eli, how's it going? Okay, start a poll. Version 1, version 2. Which thumbnail are you clicking on? So this is version 1, version 2. So version 1 is that. Version 2 is the cat. So I'll just keep flicking this off and on while people vote. Just remember, version 2 is the cat. Version 1 and version 2. It's hard, actually. That one's simpler. Big, clear text, very eye-catching, colorful image. Clearly going to be AI generated, going to annoy a lot of designers that probably won't watch it, maybe. That one, a lot going on, very busy, does have the features and shows some of the UI. So that's cleaner and simpler. That's a bit more, gives a bit more, I think. Okay, yeah, interesting. So you look at the cat and go, yeah, that's AI generated. I don't care about that. But then Moosh says the first one's too hard to read. Okay, maybe they're both shit. Maybe we need a version 3 that mixes them together. Namaste. Oh, excellent. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, exactly. Perfect for AB. In fact, I think on YouTube, AB will be ABC testing. You can do 3, so maybe I should take the UI-ness of this with the simplicity of the text and mesh them together. No. No. Not all AI. Just a lot of them. And don't even get me started on quick adjust colors. I ranted about that earlier. Number 5. Excellent, Eli. Plus maybe a few of the features and plus more. Oh, maybe, yeah. Need a version with the icon. Okay. Version 269. Interesting. Okay. I mean, you guys are the perfect people to ask because these videos will hopefully be served up to you. So, okay. Oh, okay. It's kind of close. 60-40. 56. Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right. We'll chat GPT it and see what it says. Hang on. All right. Okay. Where are you? Monsieur GPT? Upload file. Which one is the better thumbnail? Okay. See, this is again like where you can get very much into a design, put a lot into it, and then like Moose said that all of the text is just it's too much. It's like overwhelming almost. Oh, okay. All right. What do you reckon? What do you reckon ChatGPT said? It's given a very clear answer. Sometimes the old GPT can sit on the fence a bit. It's given a very clear answer. And I'd be curious to A/B test this and see if the old GPT is right. Oops, sugar, where have we gone? Oh, I did ask it to give itself a name, Moosh, but then I think it suggested something like Chatty, and I was like, that's a bit crap. Paul's going to go with 2. Second version looks good. First one feels difficult to read. The AI one for sure. AI loves AI. Chatsky. Yeah, maybe actually. Yep, 100%. So ChatGPT said the second one with the kitty cat, eye-catching image, clear focus with a clean layout, stronger Photoshop association, and then the simpler message of Photoshop new features. The first one is weaker, too busy, lots of scattered text, visual overload, weaker emotional hook. It looks more like internal documentation or a software banner than a compelling video thumbnail. God, maybe I should have done that at the beginning rather than doing the Illustrator one. We spent most of the stream. Oh, no. That's fine. Okay, version 3. This is going to be the one. It has to be now. Right, so a combination of the two, maybe. Right, all right. Okay. Well, first of all, let's duplicate version 2, because that's the favorite. So we'll start there. So we're not, all right, we're not going to drop in all the new features, because that's just too much. So it's got to be simple. So we could change that to June update. Is that as clickable as new features? I honestly don't know. But it definitely describes the video. So I feel like clickability, that's not really a word, but versus, like, it sets the expectation for the viewer, I think, pretty well. I don't know. I feel like new features is a bit more. What do you reckon? Do you think it seems better? New features grabs my attention more. Yeah, June update's not very, like, my new features videos always do really well on YouTube. Yeah, I feel like that's way better. June update sounds boring. Yeah, and it will say June update in the video description. So, sorry, in the title. So there will be that element. Okay, right. I wonder if we can grab some UI elements. Maybe merge them with the cat. I got an idea. I got an idea. Right, where are you? Version 1. Yeah, we can grab the UI and bring all these elements up. Oh. Oh, I've got it here already. That was pointless. Hey, UV! Oh, thank you so much. New member. Yay! Yeah, maybe something like this. That's true. Yes, that's very true, Paul. Very good point. But by July, it's old news. It will be old and outdated, but I feel like as long as it does convey that in the title. Yeah, because I feel like it will, on my feed, it will still be like quite far back on my channel's feed. Yeah, we could do a Photoshop icon. I think I've got one somewhere. It could go in the top corner. Yeah, it's probably more for the title. I was just thinking new features like the good and the bad. I wonder if we could do something interesting like that. So if I type good, the good, and the bad, maybe just create an interesting lockup. The good could get a bit too much. Nice and small. Oh, thank you, UV. It's always good to know they're helpful. Hey, James, do I offer mentorship on thumbnail design? Um, I do. I do coaching one-to-one sessions. I've kind of taken it off the website for the time being, so I could just focus on a lot of this stuff. I don't have specific mentorship available yet, but that is something I think I've mentioned it before. I am looking to do it just because it's for me to not be offering that is just a kind of waste of my skill set, really. It just kind of makes sense, you know. When it comes to design in general, I've got courses for Photoshop and Illustrator that will teach the tools. I think a big part of it is knowing the software so you can have your own ideas but then bring them to life. So I do have courses on Dansky.com for Photoshop and Illustrator. Beginner courses, and then there's the advanced ones that have just come out. But yeah, I'm it's just trying to figure it out. I am looking at doing some mentorship of some sort, but it's figuring out just how to go about it. You've just entered the world of design. What's your advice for me? Oh my goodness, the most open loaded question possible. I mean, my advice is to have fun and try and figure out what you like doing. So if you like editing photos, or you've even got a starting point of what you think you might like, that's a really good place to start, I think. Just try different things. If you want to do photography and or stuff like this, Photoshop, more graphic design, posters, flyers, logos, business cards, Adobe Illustrator. Have a cult or some community. I think actually maybe something like this. This is probably better. It's mostly good, but, and then that kind of teases. Someone, I can't remember who it was, but when I was watching a video a while ago, someone was saying good thumbnails kind of spark questions. And the more questions you can spark and the more curiosity you can create, the more likely someone is going to click your video to get answers to those questions. I think they call it a curiosity loop or something. So when you look at this and it's got the title, the June update, it's mostly good, but your first thought is probably going to be, well, what's the but? Okay, it's good, but I need to know what is or isn't good. So there's that sort of stuff that I probably need to employ a little bit more. And again, A/B test. Exactly, James. It creates curiosity. Yeah. How about some icons under the text? Or have the UI screenshots above or below the text? Yeah, possibly. Oh, so like away from the cat. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because they're kind of covering it at the minute. Hmm. Oh, it's hard, isn't it? Maybe the cat isn't the right play. Because now it feels like it's just surrounding the text. Curiosity killed the cat, indeed, Kerry. Exactly, Caroline. Practice, practice, practice. Yeah. What do we think about the cat? I mean, I've added these UI elements. There's part of me that just thinks, Dan, do you even need those? Is one good image better? I mean, do I go back to a picture of me? We're going to use this one. Oh, I don't know if I could bring myself to do that. This one looks more. That would be more of a good pick. I've just got to think how that's going to pair against the Illustrator one, because then it'd be two thumbnails with me like posing back to back. That might be all right, but so I'm kind of thinking about what comes after as well, like the next video. I mean, I feel like that ticks the boxes. No? This one. Yeah, yeah, I know, Lou. Can the kitty be smaller so it's not overpowering everything? Don't know if it can actually. So we're not. What we're saying is we don't want my face there. We're not liking this. Because one aspect of having me is that it's recognizably mine. So people who like me and my content, they clearly know that it's something from me. So they see me, they might click on it. Honest, but it's so it kind of ticks that box. We can change the color as well. Actually, we could change the color and have something like this. It's kind of nice. You have hundreds with your face. Carol Ann's just like, I don't want to see. I don't want to see your face, Dan. Can't stand your damn face. Needs a Photoshop icon. Yeah, I think up here is where I'm thinking, Paul. I haven't forgotten about that. I'm mentally putting it up there. It's good in the top right because it keeps it out of the way of the text then. Otherwise, it's trying to fit it up there and you've got the italicized text and it just doesn't work. I could actually try and bring out a bit more detail in this one. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it is AIE, but it does represent the video. This cat is in the video, so let's bring out some clarity. Now that is going to make it pop at the smaller size a little bit, I think. Okay, where is my thumbnail icon? My Photoshop icon. I swear I've got one. We'll do that layer search. I've definitely got it somewhere. App. Yeah, there you are. Hey, there it is. I knew I had it somewhere. Let's stick it up there. So you see, yeah, that search feature can be quite useful. Right, what are we on? Number 8. God, this has actually been incredibly helpful. So thank you, everyone. If you are enjoying this, by the way, we could do this again or a lot more. I design a lot of thumbnails. I think with a lot of these streams, I'm trying to just make a concerted effort to just stream what I do because I'm always designing something. And for me to throw on the camera and go live, it's no problem whatsoever. Especially now my studio's at home, it makes it so much easier to just be like, oh, I'm doing a thing. People might enjoy this. Let's just go live. Right, what are we doing there? Color overlay. And then we could do like a blur or something. So if we take, what are we doing? Version 2, isn't it? We take kitty cat, duplicate that, make a selection, and then apply a blur. Probably a bit too much. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Take you out. Most people don't see hundreds of face there. They just see the one they recognize in the feed. Your face is fine. Oh, thank you, Caroline. So, Paul, sorry, just to check I understood that. You're saying in favor of my face is acceptable to use. Dansky face is okay. Did I understand that correctly? I mean, these three would be so good to test to get a result on. I'm just saying, using your face on lots of thumbnails isn't a problem because most people don't see all the thumbnails. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose it would be a curated feed of all the stuff they follow. Yeah, so when they see my face, they're not seeing 4 of my face all at once. Ha! I wanna test all of these. Right. Let's grab all of them. And we'll stick them in a big old document. Okay, so that is 1. And then what we got? Version 2. Yeah, it's funny as well. The thing with the A/B testing, it's like a lot of A/B testing actually. You can think that you know what's gonna win, but sometimes you can always be surprised. So that's kind of what they look like. And whatever I do will probably have a similar style for the Illustrator video. But it would be good to test that one, wouldn't it? The crazy one with lots of stuff going on. Or maybe all that one needs... See, this is where it's so interesting. Right, we're going to do a version 1 point something. Version 1.1. Maybe actually all this craziness could be immediately fixed by taking all the features and just dropping the opacity. Do you know what I mean? So it's there, but it's not stealing the attention. Oh, I'll catch you later, Moosh. Have a good one. Yeah, I feel like that. And I mean, like this one here, I could take that out to make it less busy. I could push this one out of view a little bit more. And suddenly that new features text isn't necessarily fighting with everything else. So if I grab that, you see what I mean? So there we go, looking too busy, overpowered, lots going on. And all of a sudden, actually, you can still see the features, but it's all a bit more... Like there's still a lot there, but it's not... That's just there, white, pulling my attention everywhere, whereas that's kind of a bit more subtle. So then if we were to try that for the Illustrator one, you can see this is where it starts to get a bit crazy with so many versions. Cool. That version 1. Yeah, so obviously the smart object, this file is going to get pretty monstrous. And then what was it? 15%, I think I said it. Yeah, there we go. It just kind of sets it back a little bit. So version... All right, let's get the background in there as well. Oh, so many layers. Yuck. Okay. So yeah, before, lots going on. Hopefully a bit more streamlined. Dropping opacity actually gives a different effect. What do you think, Nick? Do you think it's better? Less look at all of this stuff at once and overload your brain? On one side your face and on the other side a cat's photo. I feel like typically you want to have one sort of focal point, ideally. So if I was going to use my face, I don't know. Do I want it necessarily there with the cat as well? And if I was going to have some text, you could put the cat behind there, but you're not going to see it anyway. So I feel like having both those elements might work if you didn't have text, for example, but it's definitely less busy. I like it. Yeah, I feel a bit more confident about that as a design now. I don't know if it would win on terms of performance, but that's a lot. Whereas that feels a bit more digestible. And we can do the contrast test actually for all of these. So you can clearly see bottom wins on contrast, then the top one, I think, and then the middle one. So, but if you said to me, like, Dan, which one do you think is going to win? I couldn't tell you. This one here needs a bit more contrast around the text that I'd sort out, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, design-wise, I like these two next to each other. Whether they perform well or not, I got no idea, but oh, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Right, before we go, I'm just gonna plug my courses, of course. So we've got a bunch of different courses here. We've got the masterclass for Photoshop and Illustrator. This is like advanced stuff. So if you know a bit of Photoshop or Illustrator, but you want to get the most out of the software and just create advanced design work, whether it's photo manipulation or logo design or logo types, or just learn more about typography or create your own custom fonts, whatever it is, these two courses have got a mix of all that stuff respectively. And then these are the beginner courses. So if you're brand new and you want to get started, these ones will take you to a pretty an intermediate level, I'd say, but still more than I knew in the first 10 years of my career. Like by the end of these courses, I think you'll be pretty surprised at just what you can actually do and how much you can create. And this is the new Illustrator one that launched not that long ago. So there's a trailer with lots of stuff. Yeah, lots of logo stuff in there. If you like logo design and illustration, icon design, working with type. So yeah, just, boring font, custom lettering based on said font. So that's something. Isometric diagrams turned into illustration. So that whole full process is there. We've got isometric logo design. How you can improve logo designs to make what you do better by using like a custom grid system. That's going to be very useful if you want to do logo design. Icon design and sexy icon design. 3D. I mean, this is just a tiny little tease. This is like nothing. The course has got like loads of stuff in it. So yeah, give the trailer a watch. And then if you do want to if you're new to Illustrator, but you're like, I just want to learn everything you know, teach me now, Ginger. Then there's like the bundle where you save 10% if you get those two courses together. And then this is just what I do basically is I use Photoshop and Illustrator like probably 95% of the time. These are the two apps I would always encourage every designer to learn. So if you do want to learn both of them from the start, then you save 28% getting it all together. And that is the ultimate super mega bundle. That's all 4 courses plus the bonus icon course I mentioned earlier. And like with everything, you get support from me directly. So this isn't just like, you can send me an email and I'll get back to you in like 50 hours or something. Like I'm there in the Discord all the time. I live in the Discord, I'm lurking. So you can just send me your questions, whatever you get stuck, got a question about design, anything really. And I'll be there to help. So that's probably one of the best things about learning with me. I don't really talk about that enough, but when people send me questions and they get an answer back usually pretty quickly, I feel like a lot of times people are surprised that I would go to that length to help them. And it's like, so I've obviously done a terrible job communicating that to people, because it's kind of like, no. If you want to learn with me, I'm here to teach you. My first thought of seeing the kitty is that we will learn how to do that from scratch or something. Yeah, I know it's AI. Yeah, in the video we do actually create that cat. I think I typed in, what did I type? Trippy cat or something. I was quite amazed. But yeah, literally carry 24/7. I'm on call. I don't sleep anymore, it's a myth. There's Carrie pimping me out 24/7. Yeah, no, I like it. I know you can get courses on Udemy for like 20 or 30 quid, but and I know some of you guys have said that you've done those courses. There's like thousands upon thousands of other people, and there's a public Q&A. I don't know if you can even message the instructor. You might be able to, but then are you going to get a message back if there's that? Do you know what I mean? I would much rather sell a course that I think is a better product and then provide support for that. I'm not interested in just making a cheap course and saying, there you go and do your thing now. Like, I actually want to work with designers to help them learn and get better. So, and that's kind of why I will be doing something to do with mentorship in the future, because I like actually working with people. It'd be nice to work with a few people specifically and just really see some progression. Kind of like a PT, I guess. So that is the plan. Is there a threat to graphic designers and video editors because of AI? What do you think? I think, well, I mean, I'm the wrong person to ask, really. I mean, I'd say with AI, there's a threat to our way of life. Forget design. Like, I mean, how many movies and video games exist where we make an AI and then it ends up destroying the world? So do I trust AI and the people that create AI to use it responsibly? No. So I don't know. I think AI and all this technology, I'm still highly suspicious of all of it, as is my nature, but I think it will it will get rid of the necessity for some roles and then maybe create new ones. So what I mean by that is, oh hello, oh hello. Let me just get you first. Yeah, what do you think? You got something to say? You want to chime in? Come on then. So I think when it comes to local businesses, a lot of local businesses will be using Canva now because they can just knock it out themselves. Is it going to be a work of art and be technically precise? No. Is it going to be good enough to sell, I don't know, Linda's Cakes or, the local butcher flyer? Yeah, probably. So I think maybe the sort of small design for small businesses, that landscape's definitely changing because businesses are realizing that they could just do it themselves beyond Microsoft Word, used to be like that was the option, Microsoft Word or Publisher or something. Kitty cat, yeah. But now there is actually design software, like even Adobe Express and Canva, it's designed for your average person to make their own designs. So but so I feel like that, if you're a designer working with small businesses, there's that to consider. But if you're working on larger scale things or you specialize in something particular, I mean, it's hard to say is anything safe anymore. The rate that it's rapidly changing. I don't know. Put it this way, I don't lose any sleep over it. I'm not worried about it. End of the day, even whatever happens, I think whatever happens, like for me personally, I'll find a way around it. I'll do something. I'll adapt. I'll change. I'm not thinking about AI taking my job. Even if AI were to take my likeness and take my voice, there's one thing that AI will never take from me, and it just will not be able to replicate, and that is my absolute stupidity, my idiocy, the fact that I'm a complete bloody clown sometimes and I'm unpredictable, and the things that come out my mouth, even I couldn't have foreseen them. So unless AI develops an utterly ridiculous sense of humor, I think in that, and obviously, yeah, the copyright issues, yeah, of course, the copyright issues. I think there's a lot of companies that will start clamping down on it soon. It's gotten, I don't know, there is part of me, I do think like Midjourney and all that, if one big company, well, I think Disney are like pursuing some sort of legal action against Midjourney, I think, because obviously all of their intellectual property is just being copied all over the place. And I feel like if one company sues them and they get something from it and they are successful, I feel like that's going to open the floodgates for so many companies to go after them. Yeah, I think there's different uses of AI. I think using like AI to design a full design is just it's just pointless, Especially if you work with people, you can't edit it, make changes or anything. It's just, you know. Hello. Oh, you are noisy, aren't you? I've not used Inkscape, but I know a few people who use it, and they say it's great. Like for what they do, I get the impression that it can be a bit buggy, and I feel like when I last opened it, I was not impressed by the UI. But I think it's free, so I think it's got enough tools to get the job done if you're looking to do it free. Personally, I wouldn't touch it. I would go for Affinity. If cost is the issue, go for Affinity, save up, get that bundle, ultimate bundle. You get all the apps, Mac, PC, own it for life. Like, because I can tell you that Affinity software is really good. Whereas Inkscape, I've not really used it myself. Hopefully that's sort of helpful. I always get logos made in Canva to fix. It's a nightmare. Oh, goodness. Well, yeah, there you go. It's created a new field entirely. Fixing stuff from Canva. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't... If I had to guess, I'd say no. It's probably not going to have all the features Illustrator does. But that is purely a guess. Like, I honestly don't know. No. Oh. We need to go and get some food now, don't we? Nom, nom, nom. We've got to feed the kiddos. Oh, amazing. Good stream. Right, yes. So if anyone has any questions, you've got about 10 seconds. But otherwise, there's a link if you do want to join the Discord. You can join the Discord and chat with us for free. And that is in the stream description. So it's my second channel where all the lives live. So if you want to watch this again later, it will go up on the Dansky live channel. Oh, you're such a baby. You're such a baby. Oh, I can't explain that right now. I'd have to go and look it up.